It doesn't matter anymore whether Donald Trump, the reasons why he pulled out the funding, or whether he's going to resume that funding after 90 days, or whether he's no longer going to resume that funding. It doesn't matter anymore. He has done it. What we need to do is continue planning as South Africans on how we can be 100% self-reliant. You know, there were people who were busy saying, yeah, but US aid was not contributing that much, less than 20%. Yona Leo, less than 20% should be contributed by us as South Africa. We should be 100% self-reliant. You know, so that we don't find ourselves in a crisis whenever America or other people who are backing us up decide to drop us. You know, so it doesn't matter whether he resumes that funding or he doesn't resume it. South Africa should just plan on how we can be self-reliant with the funding or without the funding.
So you said that you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations, and why South Africa?
No, it's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things. It's horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
Tell me on the comment section down below your personal observation as a South African of all the terrible things that are happening here in South Africa. Maybe we can find out some of the other things that he is referring to, Donald Trump, because I'm confused when he says terrible things are happening in South Africa. So tell me on the comment section down below, Woody, your own observations of the terrible things that are happening in South Africa. But according to him, as you've heard, the terrible things that he's talking about is actually this land expropriation issue that has been happening right now since Ramaphosa signed that land expropriation without compensation bill. So the terrible things that he's talking about is that whole situation, which confuses me and made me realize, if you can look at the way he's answering, the way he's speaking, it's not hard to tell that Donald Trump doesn't really understand what he's talking about. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. It's as if he was only told in passing about the things that are happening in South Africa, but he doesn't know in detail what really is going on when it comes to this whole land issue in South Africa. Because if you can pay attention, the narrative that is being pushed to the rest of the world, and it is being pushed by mostly white people from South Africa, it's this narrative as if black people are out here trying to forcefully take white people's houses, white people's properties, white people's lands. That's the whole narrative that they are pushing out there. I mean, where I took this video, on the comment sections on TikTok, white people, they are saying it's about time Donald Trump realizes what black people are doing to white people in South Africa. And it's white people who are saying that it's about time the rest of the world sees what white South Africans are going through. Those kinds of things. They are pushing a narrative, a false narrative, as if us as black people, we are out here in South Africa busy forcefully taking their houses and things like that, which we know that's not what's happening in South Africa. But when you are listening to Donald Trump, the way he speaks, it's as if he's under that impression, that's what's happening here in South Africa. That is why I'm saying it's as if he was only told in passing what's happening in South Africa. He doesn't really know in depth about this whole situation of land that he's speaking about. And personally, I don't have any problem with Donald Trump. Yes, I don't agree with some of the things he does, and I don't really agree with parts of his mentality. But as a leader, I don't really have a problem with Donald Trump, because he encompasses all the qualities that I admire in a leader, especially a leader of a country. I mean, if you can look at Donald Trump, you can't argue the fact that he is looking out for the interests of America, and he doesn't care whether other people suffer because of the decisions that he makes. As long as you are outside of America, he doesn't really care. He only puts Americans and America first. That's the thing that I admire about him. That's why I say I don't have a problem with him, because I wish for our South African leaders to be more patriotic like him too. That is why I say I don't have a problem with Donald Trump when it comes to the way he is. The way he's so patriotic when it comes to his country is something that I wish for most of our politicians, even all of them. Imagine if All of us here in South Africa, we were as patriotic as this man. With the diversity that we have in this country, that diversity all only and always directed to the betterment of this country. All of us are patriotic. We love our country. We defend our country. We have the best interest of the country at heart. Diverse as we are, we were going to be the best country in the world. So the patriotic trait of Donald Trump is something that I admire. And it makes me not have a problem with him, even though I don't agree with some of the things that he does and parts of his mentality, as I mentioned. And you know what I want to say as I conclude, it doesn't matter anymore whether Donald Trump, the reasons why he pulled out the funding, or whether he's going to resume that funding after 90 days, or whether he's no longer going to resume that funding. It doesn't matter anymore. He has done it. What we need to do is continue planning as South Africans on how we can be 100% self-reliant. You know, there were people who were busy saying, yeah, but US aid was not contributing that much, less than 20%. Yona Leo, less than 20% should be contributed by us as South Africa. We should be 100% self-reliant, you know, so that we don't find ourselves in a crisis whenever America or other people who are backing us up decide to drop us. You know, so it doesn't matter whether he resumes that funding or he doesn't resume it. South Africa should just plan on how we can be self-reliant with the funding or without the funding. If we want to be natty one day, be called a developed country like America, we should learn from what America is doing. If America, a developed country, is looking out for their best interests first, putting them first before they put other people, that's what we need to do as South Africa. Put us first before we put other people. That's what we need to do. So, tell me on the comment section down below, what do you think about this whole thing of Donald Trump saying South Africa, there's terrible things that are happening here in South Africa. Tell me on the comment section down below, what do you think about this? I am really interested. But if you just enjoyed this video or you learned something new, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. My name is Emmanuel and this is Mzansi Versity, the place where we transform lives through knowledge and information. Let's meet again on another video.